So let's talk about the expectations, the stress that we place on ourselves, especially as high achievers, athletes, entrepreneurs, physicians, teachers, whoever it may be, but the stress that we place on ourselves based on others' expectations.
I think when people are high achieving, there are kind of two paths that I see most often. One is I have to do the tried and true. So I'm not just going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a surgeon. And you know that path very well.
Right.
And it's a long one with a lot of hoops, but that's just an example of there is this established benchmark of success, and I'm going to meet it. And that means that you have to forego a lot of other decisions and opportunities for over a decade. And then there's
Delayed gratification.
Absolutely. And sometimes misery even on the way to it.
Right.
And then the other path that I see a lot is pressure to be exceptional in some way. Don't be a surgeon. That's typical. We're artists. You should be exceptional. Your brother is an entrepreneur. Your grandfather was an inventor. Your mother's in the papers. Why can't you do the same? Even if that's never spoken, when people come from high achieving families or sometimes, the pressure can come from so many places. If there aren't any high achievers in your family to really feel like you have to be the one, that's actually, I'd say, even stronger pressure sometimes. But those are the two paths that I see. If I have to meet this established benchmark, or I have to be exceptional, ordinary is not good enough.
Yeah, man, I love the way you broke up those two, because in my wife's interview, she talked about how being from inner city Baltimore, being the first person to graduate high school, go to college, and the fact that when she said she wanted to be a dentist, she said she felt like she had the whole pressure of the neighborhood on her back, because she had to show everyone what was possible, because no one else had seen it. And she knew that if she could do it and achieve it, other people would know that it was possible. That's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is growing up in a household of physicians or high achievers. And now you think, okay, if I'm going to be successful, whatever success looks like, and we talk about on this podcast, success is different for everyone, but many people attribute a title to success, not being whole or not being complete. But in your chasing this title, I saw many people in medical school that parents were physicians, and you could tell from the beginning of the year that they were just there because granddad was a physician, dad's a physician, and that's what my family does. We're going into medicine, we become physicians. And you can see them struggle, you can see them burn out, and you can see them leave. Where there's somebody else, right? I mean, I saw people from Ivy League schools gone at Thanksgiving. And then you have this other person who fought their way to get into school, and they excel because they have the hunger and the drive of, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to get through this because I don't want to go back to where I came from. So it's definitely a different pressure based off of where you started, so to speak.
Absolutely. But either way, the pressure can be really strong. And it's a good thing sometimes to have blinders on when people want to achieve a goal, like you said, delayed gratification. But it can be challenging for people when, let's just say, they are the product, their success is the product. That, oh wow, he made it to medical school, but he didn't make it through. It's like it doesn't count. Oh wow, you made it. You're playing college basketball, but you didn't get drafted to the NBA. So now what? And there are so many more opportunities for high achievers, I think, to feel like they failed when they're just meeting marks that, people with just more achievable goals see as a success, if that makes sense. But the blinders can be helpful, but it's also tough when we don't just exist in a vacuum. We exist in communities
Sure.
And having those goals it does mean a sacrifice a lot of times in those other areas.